Hey everyone, welcome to the PSN MLB baseball preview for the season 2011. I'm Alex and this is Vince. We're going to start you off with the AL division winners and wildcard winners. Go ahead, Vince.
First, we're going to start in the AL East. I like the Red Sox to win the East. It's no secret that they added Carl Crawford and Adrian Gonzalez. John Lackey's supposedly back to being a decent pitcher again. John Lester looks awesome. Clay Buchholz is going to continue what he did last year. So I really like Boston in the AL East.
You know, I'm going to have to agree with you on that as much as I hate to say it. And I think it's more the young pitching. We can talk about Gonzalez, we can talk about Crawford, and that's firepower for you. But you've got the two young emerging pitchers in Clay Buchholz and John Lester, and you've got them backed up by Beckett and Lackey, two experienced guys that have been in the playoffs. I think they have the best rotation in baseball. I know that the Phillies have been talked up constantly, but yeah. I think their rotation is probably the most threatening.
I also wouldn't be surprised at all if Adrian Gonzalez hit about 50 to 55 home runs at Fenway Park. His swing, he pulls a lot. Even he goes the opposite way a lot too. And both those are short porches. If you can hit 40 home runs in Petco, the ball dies in Petco. So he's gonna have a much better year as long as his shoulder doesn't give him any more problems.
It's a perfect ballpark for him.
Yeah. So now to the AL Central. I actually like the White Sox. This division is always, 3-team race: Tigers, White Sox, Twins. Usually one of them pulls away towards the end of the year. I'm going to take the White Sox. They added Adam Dunn. Jake Peavy, looks healthy. If he can be anything like he was when he won the Cy Young, that's a big boost. Gavin Floyd's still coming along. So I like the White Sox.
I hate to keep agreeing with you, but I think the White Sox win by default. You've got, I think the only challenger could be the Tigers this year, who, their young pitching sort of comes off of a not so great year. You see some improvement there. But, they've improved with Johnny Peralta over the last, trade deadline and a few other things. But who's going to challenge them? Who's going to challenge the White Sox other than the Tigers? They added Adam Dunn.
Yeah.
Right. And you've got the Twins. But, the Twins constantly lose, more and more parts, and you just wonder if they can keep up what they're doing.
Yeah.
So I'm going to have to agree with you on the White Sox.
All right. So now we're going to move on to the AL West. The Rangers won the division last year, and it really wasn't even close. Adding Cliff Lee helped. They would have won the division regardless. Josh Allen had another big year. But this year, without Cliff Lee, C.J. Wilson's taking over his role as sort of the number one guy. You got Colby Lewis. Not much else there, really. Tommy Hunter occasionally, he'll throw a good game, but he's not a good pitcher. So I'm actually going to go with the A's. Their bullpen's ridiculous. They're going to make games 6 and 7 innings. Gio Gonzalez improved vastly. And then you had, their offense is good enough. It's not great, but the Giants won with a good enough offense last year. So I see their crosstown rival, the A's, doing the same thing.
I originally was going to go with the A's and agree with you because of the young pitching. But I think the young pitching needs another year. I tend to sort of jump the gun on when it comes to young pitching, and they usually develop a year or two after I think they will. I think it's got to be the Rangers again. You still have the hitting. You add Adrian Beltre. Even though Michael Young might not be happy there, you've got a bunch of good, solid core players, good fielders, and you got pitching that led them to the AL crown last year. Without Cliff Lee, I know that's a big loss, but Cliff Lee, they were winning that division without Cliff Lee last year.
Yeah.
So I say the Rangers again.
Yeah, I could see either team winning, but I just think good pitching beats good hitting most of the time, and I think the A's pitching is just so much better than the Rangers, and the A's or not the A's, the Angels, I just don't see it this year from them. Like you added Vernon Wells, but Torrey Hunter, Vernon Wells. I mean, if that would be a good outfield like 8 years ago, but not anymore.
Another overpaid, underperforming center fielder in their outfield. I mean, you had Gary Matthews Jr. You have Vernon Wells, Torrey Hunter. It's like a constant cycle. I don't know. I just don't see them going anywhere this year. Although they do get Kendry Morales back,
Yeah.
which is huge. Kendry Morales could be the next superstar in baseball. I mean, he's getting there. So, you know, you can't count anyone out, but you got to go to the Rangers still. I mean, no one. I don't see anyone unseating them yet.
Yeah. So now we're going to go over to the wild card. There's a lot of teams that are going to be vying for this. I think maybe both those teams in the AL West, whoever doesn't win the division, could be in there. I actually like the Orioles kind of as a surprise pick this year. I just think they have good young pitching. It's just a matter of them putting it all together. They added Vlad Guerrero, who's still a great player. That guy hits the ball harder than anyone in baseball. And then you got Mark Reynolds, and you know, it's just Buck Showalter too. At the end of last year, I believe they had the second or third best record in baseball once he took over. So I just think they put it all together this year, and they win the AL wild card, and they might even win the AL in the playoffs too.
You know, I really do like that surprise pick. I think they did improve, but I think it's a similar situation with the Orioles that is with the A's. You've got a few good young pitchers up and coming, but I think their pitching, the Orioles, is even less developed than the A's pitching. So, I mean, I think you got to give them another 2 years also. And they've got a bunch of good young hitters as well as some established veterans. So you wait 2 years, I think that's a good pick. But you got to go with either the Yankees or the Twins in this situation. And the thing about, I mean, you can discount the back end of the Yankees rotation, but the spring that Ivan Nova is having sort of helps you to believe in the Yankees. A-Rod's having a good spring. He looks like he's off that hip problem that he's been having. I think the Yankees are going to win the wild card, but it's going to be a very close race with the Twins.
Yeah, like with the Yankees, I just don't trust the pitching. I mean, AJ Burnett can work and work and work till his arm falls off, but he's still going to give up home runs. If you don't locate, he's throwing 95, but that's nothing special. I just think that rotation it's CC, and then it's who knows. You never know what you're getting. The Twins are going to be there. Full confidence they'll be there, but I like the Orioles.